everyone, welcome back to another Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous video. In today's Camp Cretaceous video we are going to be discussing when and how E750 was actually spoken about in plain sight in a scene in Jurassic World. Again, this is before Season 3 even came out and I am merely speculating here. However, I am strongly with the belief that this is a scene about E750 that we were led to believe was about the future Indoraptor. Before I get into the video, I just want to remind you guys to press that subscribe button if you haven't yet done so. But without any further ado, let's get into it. So during the hour 40-minute mark during the movie of Jurassic World, we get a very enticing scene that's very intriguing when you do think about what is said. After the raptors go to reunite with the Indoraptor Rex, the scene cuts to Dr. Wu walking around his lab in his black turtleneck. He proceeds to say, "Everything must be accounted for," whilst then following up in a serious tone, "I want all backup generators online." Wu then heads towards what seems to be his secret lab, similar to the one that we saw in Camp Cretaceous. Acting all suspiciously, he gets a call from Hoskins and answers with the question, "Where have you been?" Hoskins replies with, "Change of plans. The mission took a jog to the left," which I assume means it's gone off course and issues occurred that were unexpected. Hoskins proceeds to say, "I'm taking everything off site," referring to off island. Wu, being all confused, replies back saying, "The embryos are safe here, they can live up to 8 weeks in the generators." Abruptly, Hoskins stops Wu and says, "No, you listen, the park's going to be chapter 11 by the morning." Chapter 11 is referring to bankruptcy. This is where the interesting comment comes from Hoskins. He then proceeds to say, "Our little side project is about to get a shot in the arm. I don't want a bunch of lawyers mess around with something they don't understand. You get it?" Wu pauses in visible shock, fear and confusion and doesn't reply. Hoskins assertively replies back with, "I'm going to take that as a yes," and then the scene cuts. So when you think about what was said in that scene of Jurassic World, it is intriguing to see if they were referring to the Indoraptor or later on the E750 dinosaur that we have recently found out about was on the island during the events of Jurassic World. However, from earlier promotional sources, we know that the Indoraptor was created in California, upstate, and also was created in the year of 2017, precisely just about less than a year before the events of Fallen Kingdom occurred. So the Indoraptor was 2 years prior to being made when this discussion of it in Jurassic World was being talked about. But what if they weren't talking about the Indoraptor like we were led to believe? An interesting thing that does happen in the Season 3 official trailer is how Dr. Wu, in his black turtleneck may I just say, does explain how the E750 project is extremely aggressive. Now with that dinosaur being extremely aggressive, that's probably why Wu does pause and you can see visible shock and fear on his face, because he knows if this dinosaur gets loose on the island, it will kill anything, no matter if somebody was to come and wrangle it or if the dinosaurs were left alone. It will kill and hunt. Also later on in the movie we are hearing Vic Hoskins telling the group, as in Zach, Gray, Owen and Claire, about the Indoraptor Rex but being a fraction of the size and more deadly, hidden from military observance. Which again, you know, when we watch Fallen Kingdom we assume that he's actually on about the Indoraptor back then. But he does also say in the previous scene, "Our little side project." Now I wouldn't say the Indoraptor was anything to do with Hoskins for the side project, and even still, would it have really taken 3 years for the Indoraptor to be conceptualized and tried to made into a dinosaur? And not only that, but in 2016 the mercenaries went to the island to take the Indoraptor Rex rib bone as well. Surely if Dr. Wu and Hoskins at this time planned to create an Indoraptor, they must have been able to get the DNA of the Indoraptor Rex before releasing it to the public. So why on earth did it need the DNA again to get it from the rib cage? That's another theory that's suggesting that actually the Scorpius Rex, also known as E750, is actually instead being spoken about in this scene, then referring to the Indoraptor. Again, the Indoraptor was made off island, it was also made in 2017, and E750 was made on island and was already about in 2015. Not only that, but when we sum up, you know, the average days and what we assume the campers of Camp Cretaceous has stayed on for, well, since the start of the evacuation, it's been roughly 8 weeks or maybe a little bit more since the campers were left behind. Again, I don't really know if you want to class the cryogenic chamber as an embryo chamber, but Dr. Wu does say it can last 8 weeks in the generators, which again, you know, if the generators start failing like they did at the end of season 2, it's clear that the Scorpius Rex in about 8 weeks time from the evacuation is going to be able to escape, which seems like 8 weeks time is when season 3 does take place. The Scorpius Rex is escaping. So there are many theories and ideas to this scene in Jurassic World that I think actually does refer back to E750 rather than the Indoraptor. Now, looking into this theory, I'm sure loads of people will probably, you know, find and pickpocket some things that aid the theory or some things that kind of destroy the theory. So please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below. However, you know, when we think about the scene, the circumstance, everything that's happening with Camp Cretaceous and also Jurassic World, I personally believe that unintentionally the script writers wrote in this scene regarding E750 rather than the Indoraptor. Again, the Indoraptor wasn't created until 2017, whereas E750 was already created by 2015. So it is intriguing to think about that this conversation between Wu and Hoskins is not referring to the Indoraptor, but instead referring to the Scorpius Rex. I think another main theory that kind of aids this situation is the fear of Dr. Wu's eyes. You know, if, you know, he's safe with the Indoraptor, he has the DNA of it, he doesn't really need to worry about it. He wouldn't be so scared about, you know, lawyers coming in and talking about stuff that they don't know and calling bankruptcy on the park. He wouldn't be so scared about that because he would have known that Hoskins has a contract with him that if he went off island, he'll still be safe and everything like that. Obviously, he does ask if his deal will still be intact, which is understandable, but why did Wu initially show that fear? I don't think it's anything to do with the Indoraptor, but I do think it's because it's the fear of letting E750 go. I know previously in another video of mine I did actually mention that potentially E750 was a commission work by Manticorp themselves, and Manticorp actually asked Dr. Wu to create this dinosaur for them. Now again, I don't know how true that theory really is, but there's another theory suggesting that Hoskins actually knew about the Scorpius Rex as well in the time being. So there's loads of things adding up here and loads of things that are very confusing but do seem to lead that E750 was actually spoken about in Jurassic World. Anyway guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous theory, or shall I say Jurassic World / Camp Cretaceous theory. I honestly think I found something really cool here, so if any of you guys agree, do let me know in the comment section down below. But if you disagree, let me know why and any reasoning behind it. But in the meantime, like, comment and subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you, did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.